Howdy, everyone. Okay, I'm going to show you what I've gathered. I've been playing with this for a bit and a few nuances. I wanted to take a chapter 9. I dropped it, a copy of it into Word doc, saved that as a PDF, added that as a source into my NotebookLM, uploaded my source. I then saw that it said this, and this becomes important because I've learned something about it. See how it says one source? It's now generating the conversation. While it's doing that, I want you to understand, I just clicked on the word generated and not click on the other button that says customize. It's grabbing everything that's in here. So I've noticed when I have several chapters, it's kind of building on each chapter that I add, and it'll say one source, two source, and I can uncheck them, but it'll still say that. And then if you don't customize it to say only focus for this podcast section over on the right, the audio overview, if you don't customize it to say only focus on chapter 9, content marketing strategy, that entire podcast will be based on whatever the gobbledygook is and sources are in here. So I figured that out. Great. Now, while I'm waiting for this to generate, let's pop over to Canvas because I want to show you what you're going to need to set up in here. It can grab the captioning, which is the tricky bit, right? Because we want the captioning and I don't want to use another source. So I'm going to jump into my hybrid class because they're very flexible with me allowing them to be guinea pigs because I see them in person. Go to your settings. In navigation, add studio up here and save it. Woohoo, save. It's going to appear over here when you're back. On your side, don't worry. They can't see that, even though it doesn't have the hide from, see? Okay. Okay, so just so you know, they're not seeing it, even though it doesn't have the little eyeball with a slash. You go to Studio. This is where you're going to keep all of your resources. When you use this drop-down arrow, you can go to My Library, which will contain all of it for wherever in Canvas that you are, cool beans, or for this class. Okay. You can go to Create, and that's where you will add the media. Right now I'm in the class, so it would add the media to here, and the WAV file, that's the podcast, would be what I would be uploading. Capiche? Okay, so what I've been doing is I've been playing in that studio in My Library, okay? And then you could narrow it down with collections, what have you, but just a little tidbit. When you're in here, this is what you're going to upload, right? You're going to upload these chapters and they are podcasts. When you go through that process, you're uploading it, you can add captions to them. And it's super simple because it's automatically creating them. It just takes a while sometimes, and you just have to publish them. Super easy. But first, let's see if it has generated it. There it is. This is my chapter 9 podcast. I am now going to click on this. Oh, I don't want to do that. Public access. No, that's what I wanted. My menu item, sorry, download. So now I've downloaded that. It's going to be in my download folders. So I know it's over here and it's going to be in downloads. And then what I tend to do is, actually, I think I actually had moved it so it was going to be there we go. So it's in here and it's the latest and greatest. And it's this content. Which one is it? Bop, 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 bop. Where did it drop it? It's not in my downloads. Let's find it. I'm going to need it. Was it this one? Here we go. Sorry. So it's this guy. I like to rename them. And I just want to, and you have to do it ahead of time. So just so you know, like get your design, your layout for how you want this organized. I'm just going to say chapter 9. That's it. Great. And I'm going to call it content marketing strategy. Doesn't need all the other words. .wav file. Okay, that's what I want it called. Yay, I know it's in downloads. Yay, I go back over to Canvas. I click on create. I'm going to be in my library. Okay. And I'm going to go to add media just because I like to make it accessible from all my classes. Browse files. And let's go find that bad boy. It is, where did I drop it in download? There we go. Opening it. Okay, it's now creating it. And then it's got to process the captions, which takes even longer. So I'm going to actually, because it's faster when I'm not zooming, I'm going to stop share for a second and stop recording and come back when it's done. Hang tight, team. Okay, so it's loaded it 100% processed.
Welcome back to the deep dive. So this time around, we are going to tackle a chapter from a marketing textbook.
Okay. Now I want you to look at captions. They may not be done yet. 27 minutes is kind of long. It's still processing. Please understand the following. When it's done processing, because you can let it keep working on that, it's doing that in the background. You click on that menu item, you are going to see something up here on top of downloads that says publish. It says something like, I don't know, and there's another word with it, but you click on that publish button or captions on or whatever it is with that drop down, and then it's going to publish those captions and you will see another icon right here. What's she talking about? Let me show you. I'm going again, not there. I got to go to my library. I have put, let's see, that was another one. Ignore that. This one, chapter 2. If we look at this one, see where we go into captions? See this menu item? Now it says edit, but before it said publish. Once I published it, this little icon came on. It's the toggle that allows your students to turn captions on and turn them off.
All right. Everyone, get ready.
Okay, so that's kind of that. You can turn them on, turn them off, and see them.
Because we're going.
Okay, so now you're sitting here going, well, what do I do with this guy? You're going to go into pages maybe, and then you would just publish this page, right? But you're going to go to pages, view all pages, create a new page. Now in pages, you've got this guy. This little blue icon is your Canvas Studio. And it's got my library, or it's got just this course. Because it's got my library, I can pull them from wherever, right? So I love using that. So I'm going to just go into my library. And if I select this guy, it's going to be the one that may or may not have the captions with it yet. And that's fine because you see that's got it. Okay, so I'm just going to go select. Okay. And again, if you'll see another icon there when it has captions, embed media. Embed media. I'm going to call this chapter 9 podcast, just because we're going to keep it easy breezy. And I am going to now save. I'm not going to publish it yet, but once I publish it, save and publish, then I could drop it into a module like a week, whatever, where it is, and they could access it. But essentially, once the captions become available, it's processing, you'll have that ability to publish them and it'll come up and then it'll be in that podcast and chapter. Real quick, let's go back to this notebook thing. This is what I've discovered. If you have another chapter and you drop it in here, then this includes 2 sources, and then it's creating an audio overview, right, of 2 sources. And I only want 1 chapter at a time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with this by saying delete. I am now deleting that audio overview podcast, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to go, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab my other source, and that's my chapter 10. Okay, so now the dealio is it's got 2 sources here. And this is going to talk about 2 sources if I did the deep dive, but I don't want 2 sources. I discovered, even unchecking it, you'd think that fix it, didn't. It's still, so again, we're beta here. So I'm going to go to customize and I'm going to say focus only, right? Focus on a specific, only cover the article about, just discuss the novel, do whatever. Only discuss chapter 10, planning your content. And then I'm going to generate. So hopefully it will just do that one in that podcast, and I'm going to have a listen to it and see what it says. But there we go. That's, I think, how I'm going to get my chapter 10 only. The other option would be to go back in and do a separate notebook for each chapter. That's the only thing I can think about when I was trying to change how it's pulling this chat together. And I was trying to find a way to delete the two sources and only have one source and blah, 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 blah. I mean, I've just played with it and this is as good as it got. So anyway, now hopefully it's capturing chapter 10. I can go through the process again, downloading it, uploading it, and then I have this. Let's see if we refresh this. Maybe it's done the chapter 9 captions. Okay, still not there, but when it's there, you'll see what I mean. Anyway, I hope that helps. It's just to get you through, and then that page is available. So if you were to say, well, now what? You just go to modules, and I do it by week because it's a week 8 class. And let's say chapter 9 is, I think it's in here, right? So I'm just going to say add page. So that's where I would just add that page from all my pages or whatever. It would be in there. So just a thought. Hope that works and hope that helps and all that good stuff. Have fun playing with it. Enjoy. Thank you.